What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night Live, keeping it real. So, DoorDash late metric was their own creation. The problems with it. We're going to talk about that. Uber setting up a $1.25 billion write-off. What they're doing is already going to fail. We can talk about that. And you tonight are all going to meet George Jetson. Right on the other side.
Well, midnight headlight, find me on a rain night. Steve Grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Goes a windshield wiper, slapping out the tempo, break the broken rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep it rolling. I'm driving my life away.
What's up, everybody? Welcome again to Thursday Night Live. I have my co-host here, Sean. We've been enjoying doing this, and so we'll kind of see what happens and where it keeps going. Because it's kind of nothing against any of y'all at all. I mean, all of you are the best, but like it's kind of nice doing something
Absolutely.
with somebody in state. And I mean, you guys would all probably feel the same way. It's nice doing it with out of state people too, but there's something different about when Sean and I are doing it because A, we just get along, but B, we're definitely like we know when somebody says something, we know exactly what the hell we're talking about immediately.
Right.
It's very cool. So Sean, awesome. Thank you that you're here. And guys, I will put a link in a little bit or in a few, and make sure you're checking out Sean's, and it's also in the description below. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I almost do Mountain. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Sean goes live, and he's only done. I mean, he's under 10 episodes, and it's already turned into a pretty cool podcast, man. I'm digging it.
Thank you, man.
And he rolls with me being in the chat, just heckling him like a professional comedy heckler, man. I'm in there, and I'm doing it. I mean, we're doing it out of pure fun, but I mean, like he's handling it like a pro. I'm digging it. So check him out.
And it adds to the show. It helps kind of fill in those little lulls and keep the energy going. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me for the entire time I've been doing this, and I occasionally look over and I just want to crack up. So I be careful, but then my eye floats over there anyway. I'm like,
and you do anyway, right?
Yeah, like I know, like I'm like I shouldn't look, and I'm just trying to, but I'm really just trying to see if I'm anywhere near caught up at all,
right?
Or if I've completely lost track of it, and I'll just catch one comment that just hits me hard, and I'm like, I almost just want to die. It's like,
yeah.
Because these guys, all you listeners are pretty. You guys are pretty funny, I gotta say. But I wanted to put this in there.
That comes in here.
Yeah, we for sure, dude. So, thank you, Christopher Taylor, and I also saw thank you, Gil. And then I'll get to saying hi to you guys all too. But I want to put this in the. I can't like that already. Oh, I got to do it through there. I want to put this in. You guys, if you can donate, I know that if you go look, you're gonna see that a lot of people donated bigger donations. But I'm telling you, you can donate $1. You can donate $2. It does let you just put in the amount you can. It's as much about the gesture as anything you can give, and even $1 or $2. But like I said, on Monday, and so this will be the second time we're gonna put out. This is the week of doing it. Ellen is a good friend of the community. She's a good friend of mine, and I want to let you guys know that she has a thing up on Facebook. I shared it over here. I saw a couple of you commented and whatever, and that's awesome. Hopefully, if you guys can give $1 or $2, Ellen is an awesome person, and she lost her son, and none of us, any of you that are parents. Even if you're not a parent, you should understand this. None of us should ever have to bury a son or a daughter. You shouldn't have to bury a kid. And it was too young an age. So I just put it in it's probably going to be in both chats. So there you go. And if anybody is on Twitter, I am trying to run it on Twitter tonight. So give a thumbs up from Twitter so that we see it in the StreamYard comments if you could. Any kind of thing. Because I'd just like to know if it's live on there again. I won't be able to check till after this, but okay. Yeah, Sean and I got a few things to talk about this week. I guess let's get into it. Let's say hi to the who is in here yet. Let's see if I can get this down. Sean, I saw you had other comments in here too. So first of all, thank you, Gil. Gil's been a long time watcher and he listens to the podcast too. And you guys, before I do go any farther, this is a must. I got to tell you, May 18th is the last day of Podbean Live. So I've had a lot of people ask me like, well, where's your podcast going to be? First of all, no matter where I host my podcast, it'll always be on any player you want it on. You can get on Spotify, Apple, whatever. I handle that, and it's on every one globally. So it does. If you ever find a pod player and I'm not on it, let me know. I'll be on it in an hour. But again, I'm on all the big ones. So just Rideshare Rodeo. You can find it anywhere you want: Spotify, Apple, Pandora, Amazon. But Podbean is going to continue to be my podcast host. They're just ending the live sessions to move forward with some AI stuff that I got a glimpse of, and it's not stuff I would use. It's kind of that digitizing your voice and narration stuff for AI features that I'm like, dude, I thought what everyone needed to get away from. But so Podbean Live is gone, but it's okay because that's kind of been more just for some of us that want to listen to some music and stuff lately. Tried it a couple times, but I stepped away from it long ago. But I just wanted to let you know that you will still find, if you're still a Podbean listener of the audio podcast, because I've had those people are the main ones asking me, do I have to switch to Spotify? No. I'm still even going to be hosting on Podbean. So you just stay there. You're good. Or listen wherever you want, guys. It drops every Tuesday. So, but yeah.
So you're live on Twitter, by the way. I did check real quick.
It is? Okay. Because it's definitely not registering the numbers. Because I know you have a couple in yours and the overall number.
Yeah.
But at least if it's working, man, it's working.
Yep.
Sometimes it takes a couple minutes in Twitter, but before it broke, just so you know, Sean, like I had not as many, but I had close to it. Like there were some nights when I'd have 25 people on YouTube doing this, and I'd have 20, 22 from Twitter in there.
Wow. Nice.
So, I mean, one thing about Twitter is I don't think they can I had to show a couple people. I don't think they can figure out how to comment real easy. It's kind of weird. You touch the live and then it's like, well, where do I comment? You have to like pull it down and touch it twice and a box opens.
I didn't even know you could comment on the live. So there you go.
It's tough. Yeah. So thank you, Gil. And Sean was I saw when I did see this yesterday, not this one, but whatever you dropped about.
I did that just about an hour ago.
I mean, they were like going, what's up, Torp? What's up, Bubba Sue? Sean is delusional. You guys will all know what we're talking about this one in a little bit.
We're gonna get into that one.
He's
tonight.
Delusional, but he's not. But he is,
right.
But he's not. But again, I'm not agreeing with him either. We're gonna tear this up. What's up, Twin Pine Studio? Hello, Jim. That's James. Is that James? Is that right? No, you're Jam Woodworking.
Joe.
I knew it was a J. Okay, sorry. I was just trying to get it down. What's up, Traveler? And hey, what's up, Rick? And awesome, Amy. And who else? Doug. Nice. Christopher Taylor again. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it so much. Already too hot here. He's in Mesa, Arizona, and it's what, March? Chris. You all know that, dude, in Arizona, you can't touch a car door without like a towel.
Right.
Like if you walk up to an Uber and it doesn't have electric doors, like don't just touch it in the middle of summer. Don't. Like you will burn your hand. Like bad. Those door handles get so damn hot.
102. Wow.
Oh, hey, thanks, man. Thank you, Torp. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Derek. What's up, Derek? How you doing, man? I think you know this as well, but Derek is Denver. Yep. Yeah, he's good. He's good people. Not that the rest of you aren't. We just like your color on the phone too. 102 in Mesa
Colorado
today. Jesus.
Yeah.
That dude, March.
I know.
I might have to admit global warming's real if this keeps up.
Right.
I'm just messing with you.
More EV, less coal.
I don't know if you saw this, man, but there's a couple of things we're just gonna move through quick. This is probably one of them, unless for some reason you guys want to talk about it a little more. But why I said Uber already has a $1.25 billion write-off. I don't know if you saw this, dude. This is from today. They to get their robotaxi fleet off the ground. They've been, this. We talk. Sean and I have even said it this way. The autonomous vehicle industries are sluts, dude. Like if there were STDs for these things, they would all have them all. Like,
and Uber's the pimp for all of them, I think.
I'm telling you, but I saw this and I'm like, okay, a company, and I got to be honest, like I hadn't heard Rivian, and I do follow all these. Like I hadn't heard about, in terms of like anything with Uber ever. So I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, I was like, you hadn't heard of Rivian? They manufacture.
No. But I mean, like, I was like, when I saw it with Uber, I'm like, really?
Right.
Like, why isn't it just Lego joins Uber to make autonomous? It's a Lego engine. It runs on Legos. Like, shut up.
So,
but this 1.25 billion. As I was looking into this, the main takeaway that I did have is there's no prototype, there's no design, there's nothing. They don't have anything, and and Rivian has no experience in this. So what the hell is this for? To me, it's a write-off, because here's why I say that, and this is what I kind of wanted to bring to some people's attention. I think this happens a lot. I think that they do things like this knowing it'll fail. I don't know what the write-off technically would be on something like this. I'm not at that level of corporate dynamics and understanding exactly. But dude, literally, if this is just a complete waste of money, they do it in write-offs, man. I mean, it's all for investor perspective. They're not real. I can tell you this right now. They are not counting on Rivian to do anything.
I mean, how can they so quickly when there's other places that are actually producing vehicles? And like you said, they don't even have a concept vehicle, not even a sketchpad drawing, probably, even at this point.
Exactly.
So what are they doing?
Like you just said, there's a bunch of companies out there doing it that don't do it right, who have been doing it for decades. Like, dude,
that are why do you fucking it up?
Here's my thing. Why would you want to jump into it? Like if I'm them, I would just want to stay out of it. Like, dude, you guys do you, man. I know we're not going to be the tech company that solves autonomous for the world, so we'll just stay on the side.
I mean, the market's oversaturated, and there's barely any, true autonomous vehicles running around out there.
Yeah. I'm going to try and put this the long way if we can, or wide. Sorry, wide. Whoa. Medium. I don't know why it moves it over there for wide like this. Does that help anybody? Does anybody like that? Because that way, just so you guys know, Sean's chat sees my chat. This is the only way we can make it so that both chats see. If it's not helpful to you guys, I can take it down. That's big writing. Like to Sean and I, that's probably the best way, but I know that you guys are probably like, dude, that looks really bad. Huge. But I mean, I'm just trying to figure this out for future too. Do you guys like this, or this at least, or is this not? Are you on? Are 90% of you on phones going? I don't know what that says.
So Doug made an interesting comment that said Rivian does all the Amazon Prime EVs.
Right. Okay. EVs.
So,
but everybody's EV. I mean, everybody has that ability. Like, dude, I don't know if I guess my point is, Doug, is that
But think about the mapping that they're developing by using all the driving around with the Amazon drivers. They're able to build that without rather having to, you know, do it. So that's actually a good angle for them, and why they probably got into that market to begin with.
I guess, man. It's just yeah, maybe it's just me, and I'm sure many of you even feel the same way. And Doug, I mean, a great point, but um, I don't know. If I owned a company, I don't care what the promise is. Like, if it's like, oh, we want to partner up with you, I'd be like, interesting. Let's talk. Who are you? Uber. I'd be like, click. Like, I wouldn't even want to. I honestly wouldn't even want to have the conversation because I would know it's a fail, a scam. I'm being set up to be the fall guy. Something bad is going to happen if I partner up with this company.
Right.
Maybe a lot of
And
people really don't know that. I guess it's very weird to me because we live it day by day by day by day by day.
right.
And it's always right in our face. But I still always tell you guys that I think on many levels, at least it wasn't so widespread about legislation and other things until now. So now the investors all get it. But I still think there were pockets of investors who always got it. Like, dude,
Right.
just know when to get the heck out. This isn't real. Like, but to me, I don't know. It feels like okay, it feels like the gangster days of them being owed money by a restaurant, the restaurant having to turn over all the profits to the gangster, and they just start stealing the money until the place is dry and then burn it down for the insurance money.
Right. But also, I'm going to tell you, Steve, this isn't like, you know, Bigfoot. There's a little more evidence that it's going to happen. And, there's air taxis coming too.
I mean, you know what?
You say no.
I'm one of the more than 70% of world citizens who believe in UFOs. I'm part of that 70% in a big way. Sean and I don't know if Sean is, I've never
So,
even asked him, but in our state, there's
uh,
major activity, and I've lived in some places where it's freaky, dude. Not in a bad
Joe,
way.
Joe, Amy, and I have a friend that was the head of MUFON.
Right, but I mean, is your belief with that too? We're not gonna get into that, but just, or at least on
Yes,
any
but
kind of
I think,
level,
yeah, short answer, yes, with a whole lot of but,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, sure. Because yeah,
so
yeah, I agree.
that'll be for our new podcast.
But again, my point was there's alien technology. I believe that we do possess technology that we're not supposed to have yet, or we are supposed to have, and I don't know. Like I think that some things are way ahead, and that will apply to the eVTOL too, obviously, because sometimes we just every once in a while something's created, and it's like, how do we do that? You weren't able to do this, you weren't able to do that, and then all of a sudden we just have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know if you remember
I mean, you go from
when the stealth first launched. A lot of people won't be old enough, but you'll remember.
right.
Remember how like that came out of nowhere, like the way it was filmed and the speed. It was like the right
Right.
speed, the right elevation. You cannot be seen. I was like, what the hell? Like,
Right.
it wasn't like
Well,
they
maybe go
revealed the coding or the speed or the vehicle or until all 10 pieces were together. It's like actually the opposite of autonomous and everything else.
right.
Like they reveal it and it doesn't work. Like, these people waited until all the parts came together and it all worked. I agree, Traveler. But that's just the me that I've seen some shit.
I've seen some shit, man.
But so I want to moving on. I want to talk about this DoorDash late delivery metric. I know you don't do it. I don't think you do, Sean. Do you?
Was that DoorDash?
Yeah, never, right?
It's been almost 2 years, I bet, since I've done
Right.
DoorDash,
I
just
mean,
because it's such
okay, but
trash down
you have
here. And
done it, but you don't do it. It doesn't
oh yeah,
matter.
I did.
I
Yeah, I've
think
done
that's awesome that you
crap loads of
don't. I think everybody should not do it.
them. Right.
Um, but the DoorDash, I don't know if you know this part, Sean. The DoorDash late metric recently changed to the point
Uh-huh.
where even around the community and stuff, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of people there, and we've been talking about it for a while, but you're late by the time you're picking up now. It's this new
Right.
thing, and they're really using the
Yeah.
metric. They used to use it back in the day. Then they kind of took away the being late part of it. And now
Right.
they brought it back full force. And if everybody remembers, I mean, at least we've talked about it. So even if you weren't around then, I know some of you are even younger to even know this, but in the 80s, that was a big deal with Domino's. That was a big, big deal.
30-minute or free.
But the lawsuits and I mean, that was
Yep.
national.
And the traffic accidents that were happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, that kind of precedence, like, this isn't a joke. Like, in a year where legislation's dropping everywhere, what the hell are you doing, man? Because here's my thought, though. I know what's happening. I think I do. I really do. So, so first the Domino's thing. Second, metrics on contractors illegal. So it's not even legal to be doing this anyway, or any of the metrics.
Right.
But the reason that you are late before you get it is because, and this is going to move us into the next piece very quickly. And I'm going to ask Sean for his opinion on this next piece, because I saw when I was talking about it last, he had some things to say, and I want to know what he thinks about this, because customer puts in the order. Let's say it's a horrible customer. Let's say it's a $2 no tip, or even if it's a $6 with a tip, regardless, DoorDash is putting it out in the system as $2 no tip. It's coming through to the drivers initially, $2 no tip, right? Okay. That's going to get passed around for a long time. Sometimes, maybe just by luck of draw, DoorDash hopes the second or third person does just grab it. But some people might go through 20 before really, you know what I mean? And so you've wasted now what? You're 12 minutes since the customer ordered. I'm not using exact anything, but clearly the customer, I don't use the DoorDash app, and I've only used the Uber Eats one a handful or double handful of times. So, but it always has an estimated time. And
Right.
I actually don't, even as the customer, I'd be okay with them removing that. You show the driver and stuff, and I can communicate with him. Don't put that time on him. And that's
Right.
me as the customer, dude. Because if I feel like I know what he's doing, if I see him going the wrong way, I'm gonna say, "Yo, what up?"
Right.
You know, like I can handle that, but don't put this on them. But I honestly think that while that's happening, because we all know then what happens, DoorDash adds money to the order as it needs to. Uber Eats isn't
Right.
so great about this. Uber Eats will let something sit forever and just kind of, it's like roadie. It just throws it out there
Right.
for $1, and if anybody wants to grab it, it's there. Otherwise, it's still there at
Yep.
5 p.m.
Right. Growing grass on it the
But my
next
point
day.
is that wasted time where you're throwing around a shit
Yeah.
offer, and you know nobody's going to take it. Nobody's taking it. I mean, if it is, it's just that luck of the draw. It's an illegal account that doesn't pay taxes, all that kind of stuff. But it's not. It's their fault. So I don't even think there's anything to be said there. I wanted to move that right into cap on drivers, because again, I think this
Right.
goes to a very important point that I've had a lot of people say to me, it's a great idea, and I'd much rather do that, even if it costs me not being able to work 2 of the days out of the week. Now, a couple of those emails and comments that I had come from people that I know who worked 7 days a week. So you know what? The part that I've broke down, I think pretty well, is that on the nights you are on, you will, if you're really dedicated to working and not being lazy about it, you will make way more money. But correct, you might not get on 2 nights, but you know what? Good for you. You'll make more on the 5.
Right.
And you won't be sitting out so many idle hours and be out 7 days a week. And to those of you that think it does not wear on your mental psyche, I've been doing it since 2014, 15.
Yep.
And since the pandemic, mixing in all these other things, this is almost like the podcast and doing this stuff with you guys is like my, good. I get to, just kind of like break it down here, your guys' day and whatnot. But I don't know, man, what mixed opinions. I had a person say to me, they lived in Chicago. It was a comment, and it said, no cap on drivers, please. And then it said, I just had my best DoorDash day in 5 years yesterday. That comment came in Sunday from Chicago. Saturday, Chicago got hit with the most snow we've seen in even
That's
all year with all the
exactly.
snowstorms.
That was going to be my analogy, Steve. I said anybody who has a vehicle that can get out in the snow, that is when I will still do DoorDash. And we didn't get a bad storm this winter. I will get out in my four-wheel drive pickup and I'll make $175 in a few hours, 2, 3 hours, just because nobody else can get out there and the money is out there because the people aren't working. Now that's the extreme of it because there's
And Colorado people like to take our cars out in the snow. Those of us not from
right,
California who are
exactly
afraid of
that
it, like
like
we like to get out there
right.
and just play a little bit.
Exactly. Want to actually use my four-wheel drive and but no, seriously, I mean that's the best analogy to prove the case that less is more, for the drivers. And it's the whole reason that I have opposition to a whole lot of things that a lot of driver support organizations support is because they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Adding more drivers does nothing. Guys, we've sit here and watched this market deteriorate for years because they just keep adding more and more and more drivers. And it's killing the industry. They're slowly killing themselves by doing that, Steve.
I agree, man. And I honestly think, listen, I've been using the same numbers, so I'll just stick with them. Like, let's say
Yeah,
that on any given, let's say on Thursday night, they know in Denver that the city, because when they do these, they did it with the taxi industry in many cities for decades. And it worked better once they implemented that than other
right.
cities that were failing for other reasons. So what it is, like let's say that they say in Denver you can have, and this is going to sound high or whatever, it probably is. It's just made up numbers, but they're arbitrary. You can have 700 drivers on a Thursday night. Okay. But
Right.
because we know that some people might drop off at any given minute, and even though others could come on when one drops off, we'll allow you 1,000. So they're still going to allow 140% saturation to what's needed. And then
Right.
obviously events, conferences, things going on at Red Rocks, summer downtown, like it. Different Thursdays might have different reasons to need to double that. The cab industry or the taxis that were in industry or in cities that did this, they did all of that. It was all fluctuating in real time, and this is before high tech. They would be able to do that. Like, okay, you can have 7, but you can have 1,000 every Thursday. Oh, we got all this going on. You can have 1,300 on this Thursday. Then you're back to that 1,000. My point is, if they let the 1,000 out and we know we're oversaturated, 300% is a fair number. I played with them a bunch. So from small to big city, 300% oversaturated. So if you took 3,000 cars and only 1,000 of them can be on, people are going to make more money. Now, people said to me that, well, but they'll still send out the $2 offers and they'll still take them. No, because you're going to have to fight to get on there. All the metrics are
Right.
gone in this scenario, people gone, and they got to be gone anyway.
Right.
They're leaving one way or
Yes.
another through transparency, through other ways. And plus we all are pretty awake. They don't mean anything, so it's, but okay. So they're going to, if you're not going to have the 3,000 and the 1,000, I don't think those $2 offers are even going to go around. Data costs money. They're not going to waste the time doing that pool
Right.
when they're already doing it to try and trick somebody that just got on, or they're going to say, dude, just make it 4 right out the gate. Because the bottom line is, in here, this is what I believe. The new late thing, a lot of people say it's intended for you to be late immediately. I do believe DoorDash does not care about us at all when they write their code, but I don't believe that they
Right.
wrote in a code to make you late every time. It's just a product of their bad decision making
Right.
and bad focus.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't think they're out to get every one of you and deactivate every one of you. That wouldn't make sense.
There's nothing for them to benefit out of doing that. So that nullifies that.
So people did think, well, but dude, that would just mean more $2 offers and less people could get them. I said, And they said, plus that would mean some nights I couldn't get on. Yeah, but here's my point, dude. If there's 1,000 on and only 700 are needed, if they let 3,000 on, no man, maybe 5% do decent. The other 95% comes home going, crap, dude, that sucked, man. Worst night ever. Like, that's just sucked. You put 1,000 people out there, they're not going to come home millionaires, but they're going to come home and go, that was good, decent night. I've been trying to think of it like bartending. If I bartended a Thursday or a Tuesday, I'm making $100, dude. If I bartended a 4-hour shift, I was just thinking about this. Like, what were some of my biggest nights? You'll appreciate this. Right across from home plate entrance of Coors Field. That was the bar. So if I bartended a 4-hour shift on a Cubbies game, which get out of control for whatever reason here, and I would take home $500 in tips.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, I'm gonna take home 75 or 100.
Right.
It's just what it is, dude. But again, I just don't. I think oversaturation is actually probably next to transparency. It's missing transparency, lack of. It's right there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to fill a restaurant with 40 people in the wait staff sitting around waiting around on a Tuesday night. You're going to save those and use them on Saturday and Sunday. That wait staff when you need them, and that's when they want to work because they want to make tips. They don't want to sit around with the thumb up their ass.
Well, some of them do. I know. Sadly, hopefully you guys have stopped this new year, but I haven't talked to anybody who's been telling me about it this year. But last year, people used to be like, "Dude, I had a horrible day. I only took like 2 offers, but I did see an entire season of XYZ TV show." Like, dude, now if I hear like remember Netflix and chill? This is like, I'm working. No, you're not. Right. Netflix and working. No, you're not working, bro.
No, you're not a night auditor at the Holiday Inn just sitting around doing nothing, and waiting for some drunk to come stumbling in and have to deal with them. It's burning up fuel at its highest prices that it is. Like you mentioned at the very beginning, Steve, this is mentally draining to people, when they're just sitting in a parking lot waiting for a damn order, and it's not good for your mental health, guys. Work smarter. Make these apps work for you. Don't work for them.
That's I've said this before too. Pick the one that you like and make sure you're not with some total crazy person that just like, oh my God, I cannot believe the words coming out of this person's mouth. But there's some really good ride along channels that I like. Some of them are all day long too, like John's Driving Daily in North Carolina, and then it's a number after it. But if you guys find John, like he's every day for like 8-10 hours every day. Wow. And he's out there, and it's just about the community, dude. And I got to say, like, if you are those people who are out all day, I'm not telling you should, but like, dude, if you're feeling mentally isolated, I think that is somewhat helpful. Check it out. Any of those, find one.
Yeah.
Ask me. I know of a bunch that I like, or a few, but so do you have anything else to say on the cap? I'd like some other words if you have them. If you don't, you don't. But like, there are people who obviously question it, dude. Like, that makes no sense. Well, and why would DoorDash do it? Why DoorDash would do it is environmental reasons, because they're getting chokeholded on legislation all over the country right now. And anything that they showed, like, we want to do something good. Here's where it's like the boy that cried wolf, that nobody believes him anymore. And now with business partners and customers and drivers all against these, the lawmakers need to take into account the constituents. It matters more than the briefcases of money. Therefore, I don't know. What do you think on the cap? And like
I said, it's got to happen, man, because it's just everything is so oversaturated. Even the rideshare world, they got to put some caps. And no, I'm not talking about this bullshit that Uber's, with the subscription models, which I've talked about for various reasons that they would be doing it. But no, I'm not gonna pay to go deliver people. That's when I'll go back and start delivering food again. I'm not doing the subscription garbage.
Watch those words, man. You did it again.
I know I'll be like out there.
I'm
I'll
just
be
delivering
changing the
people, man.
Colorado DoorDash hustler. Be changing my username.
I'm just saying you can't be
Welcome
saying
to-
delivering people.
Welcome to the DoorDash zone.
Especially in our
host.
state, dude, where I-25 and 70 meet is like one of the main
Yeah.
junctions of trafficking.
No, man, I'm already looking in to get my eVTOL pilot license, so I'm moving with the times, brother.
Okay, here, real quick. I just since you know, I mean, every once in a while we got something to show you guys, and this is only 16 seconds. How to jumpstart a car, guys.
To jumpstart a car, first pop the hood. Then you take these bad boys and clip them anywhere on the engine. Then you take these and clip them wherever.
You learned
Seems
something here
plausible.
tonight. Okay, it's funny that you mentioned about them taking like, you know, like taking in like Waymo and stuff and what they're doing to take in stuff, because I ran across something and then I saw an article today, and it's from Canada Yahoo News, and it's DoorDash wants to pay you to film your everyday tasks to help train AI. I want to show you guys something that is so mind-boggling, and listen very careful in the start of this, because this guy says something. He even says this was done to train robots. Now, this guy's hit and miss for me on TikTok, but when I saw this article, after I had saw that, I went back and found this video because it is worth hearing, and it did. I checked it. It did happen. This happened.
Every single person who has ever downloaded or played Pokemon Go was secretly training AI and delivery robots, and nobody knew until this week. So do you remember whenever 500 million people downloaded Pokemon Go in 60 days and were walking around pointing their phones at buildings to catch Pokemon? Every single time that you ever scanned a Pokestop, battled at a gym, or completed a field research task, your phone was recording exactly where you were standing, what direction you were facing, how fast you were moving, the angle of your camera, and what every single building around you looked like. Niantic, which is the company behind this entire project, collected 30 billion of those images. And this week, they just officially announced what they were doing with all of those photos this entire time. They have officially built a system that can pinpoint any location on Earth within a few centimeters just by looking at a photo of the buildings nearby. Here's what makes this even crazier, because the CEO literally said getting Pikachu to realistically run around and getting a robot to navigate through the real world is actually the same exact problem. Is it? They didn't just collect your data, they turned a game into the largest real-world mapping project ever done in history, and players did all of the work for free. You can go on the app now and opt out, but you can't delete what they already got from you. You thought you were catching Pokemon, but you were building the eyes for every single robot that's about to come.
I don't know about the every single thing. I don't ever like those kind of all in
Right,
terms
those
on
exaggerated
one thing.
statements.
But I will say that from what I looked into, it is definitely the biggest player in that.
It's yeah,
When I first
that,
saw it, you know, when I first saw it, I was thinking, I mean, like Max was of his age, and that wasn't his thing and whatnot. But I do remember that somewhere near like the first or second year after the pandemic,
right?
where people were running around doing this crap.
Oh yeah, there was.
And it was
I
in
mean,
all
it was
the
a
news
big,
and everything. And I didn't go do it, so I didn't understand it. I'd watch little things and I still didn't understand. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life when they do it.
It kept my attention span for a very short time because I had kids that were in that age group, but I also had an antique store out in Elbert County, and they have these things called Pokestops. And this is where people gather together and they would do their battles and stuff like that. And so, yeah, to the point of, you know, because they would have little missions, for lack of a better term. And so people would like, I I think that's a completely plausible thing, what they just said. And before that, there was Niantic had the base game was built about a game called Ingress, and was kind of the same thing. And I was just waiting. I knew Twin Pines was going to have a comment on this. And
I
she
didn't
would
know this
definitely
though.
be an
I
expert.
love this, dude. I mean, that's even
Yeah.
worse. And so
Yeah.
so I guess my questions is to Twin Pines, since they must know about this, is that like the 3D scan, were people being paid for this? Is this one of those like they paid you just a little, but what was the reward? Or was it just like, I have points that are worthless?
Clout. Yeah, just like everything with every video game.
Well,
You know.
dude, some of them it's only pennies, but some of them do pay you. There are some things out there that actually pay you to play the games. I mean, you're not going to make a living, guys. Don't go looking for them.
Right.
But,
Don't,
you know, I'm
don't
just
go
saying,
doing
but I didn't know.
starvation
Maybe this
for
one
your
did. I mean, I don't
23
know.
cents for no, it doesn't.
Because I do know the Pokemon industry has enough money, they could have paid these kids something.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's one of the biggest toy industries that ever was.
one of the biggest IPs, yeah, in that genre that there is out there. Yeah, so it's really interesting. I'm sure Twin Pines will have some more information to give some feedback to us later about this to follow up on it, because that's an interesting one, Steve.
Well, if you bought the card sets, they actually have gone way up. Yeah. I've even seen the I don't even know what they are, but like there's some like super limited editions that are like gold. I saw a Pokemon card in like this like looked like the Mona Lisa type thing, and a guy was wearing it on a show because he was showing the most expensive ones. This thing was like, maybe I'm wrong, please correct me, but I want to say it was north of 10 million for a fucking
I have
card.
no idea. I know it's not uncommon for ones to be worth thousands.
It's just an
no monetary
optional
reward.
in-game activity. Yeah, I figured the no monetary reward, but I would at least, I remembered it being during the pandemic, and so now I'm thinking like, why not, you cheap asses, Pokemon? Like, what up? Like
Right.
you had all these kids running around, like, and you could have been paying them a little, like while you're like planning the takeover and doom of our planet.
But they're like, oh, everybody's getting their steps in. It's so wonderful.
Okay, so before we move to this is very quick, and it's not a Waymo, it's a 27-second Tesla fail. Autonomous Tesla fail in Miami.
Oh, I think you're going to show the one I was going to do.
Worst right turn I've ever seen in my life.
That is not the one. I've got one also that I'm going to be showing. So, wow. That
Did you
was a
see
Cybertruck.
Dude, that was
wasn't
a
it?
right turn with no cars and cones. Like, and it's like, nope, just hits the wall.
Yeah. Now, was it in FSD mode?
There's no driver in the car. Those the new ones being tested.
Oh, is that one of the ones being okay?
The Tesla robo taxis.
Yeah, that was a robo taxi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a problem with FSD mode apparently with curves, and I was doing a little bit of research on that today because right. Yeah, it goes after him, it seems like, actually. Because I was like, okay, we got to level the playing field here. I love beating up on Waymo, so does Steve, but you know what? There's a lot of shit that happens with these Teslas, and we have a lot of rideshare drivers that use these Teslas, and so I'm going to start doing a little bit more towards Tesla, and so sorry, Elon.
Tesla and Waymo crashing our way into unethical autonomous.
Literally and figuratively.
Well, you know what? I got it here. So before we move, because we got one other quick thing left I wanted to ask you. And then we got the big topic, guys. So hold on. You know what? We have to play the Waymo one. I found this. We got
Waymo engineers were fired for falsely advertising the self-driving capabilities of their cars, as these vehicles are not fully autonomous. There are reports claiming that Waymo relies on remote human operators to intervene in complex situations. Waymo's chief safety officer publicly admitted that whenever their self-driving cars encounter situations they cannot handle, remote operators in the Philippines step in to make decisions for the vehicles. There have been incidents including collisions with children, traffic blockages, and illegal driving. Just yesterday, a Waymo vehicle caused a traffic jam while making a left turn, nearly resulting in a T-bone collision. This was described as an extremely aggressive and unprotected left turn maneuver. Netizens have criticized this behavior, stating that it's essentially playing with passengers' lives. Waymo vehicles have even crossed double yellow lines and swerved across multiple lanes while performing U-turns, all of which are handled by remote operators. With the release of this news, public trust in Waymo was greatly affected. Many people began to question the safety and reliability of these vehicles. Some believe that although Waymo's self-driving technology is not perfect yet, it undeniably represents the future of transportation. Others argue that despite Waymo calling it self-driving, the reality is that in many cases, the vehicles still rely on human operators, which fails to guarantee passenger safety. What do you think?
So this is a summary that we've talked about before. What I just really wanted to show is that the main part that I'm questioning, because we know that they're not real, they don't work, none of this stuff. It's just not real. But when we learned about the Philippines thing, why are we overlooking that so much? I literally am starting to think they don't even have a technology and the Philippine drivers are driving.
So, yeah, I don't. So there's an attorney that originally I talked to about some of the stuff with Waymo and the product liability stuff, not Bryant. But and then this guy posted a video today, saying, oh my gosh, and he's like using his phone like it's a joystick or, like a little game controller. And people are exaggerating what that safety officer said, but the problem is that he was really ambiguous about some of it. And the thing that scares the hell out of me is that he said ultimately the Waymo makes the final decision. So you could have their safety drivers, whatever they call them in the Philippines, saying,
I don't know what those are called. I think those are just remote drivers, which is very scary. They're halfway around the world.
Right. But Waymo needs to quit being so ambiguous about it. And when they had those Senate hearings, they should have pressed them a little bit harder, or a lot harder, actually, to get some correct answers. So now we have all these stories spinning out of control, and we don't know what's true.
I think that you and I both know if he had pressed him, or if anybody had pressed him at that point, I feel like they got such a huge nugget out of getting that admission out of him about the Philippines.
Right.
They were almost like, leave it, because what was coming after that. I don't think I'm going to answer that. I'm going to choose not to answer that.
Right.
It would have been everything, and they would have been great questions, but it would have done
right.
It's almost, to me, it's better. I mean, sometimes it's good to fire off those questions and let the world hear what you've been thinking, at least, even though you won't answer it. But I think this was a good time to pull back and go, wait, let's regroup and really get this guy.
Right.
Or these guys,
But meanwhile, really... the suitcases of money will pile in and they won't ever have another hearing about it.
And I didn't even know this. Thanks, Chris. I honestly, if we did talk about it, I'm trying to think, if I even knew that, dude, that's just every way wrong.
Yeah, I did a segment on probably my second podcast about Waymo. I call them Waymo moms, and people are putting their kids in the Waymos. And yeah, now there has been an official complaint up in Northern California filed. I think it's child abuse, frankly, if you're sending your kid, unaccompanied, putting unaccompanied minors in I don't know what's worse, putting them with a stranger Uber driver or no driver at all. I'm gonna say no driver at all.
Yeah. Well, yes, if the product worked.
Are you talking about Uber background checks or?
No. I was trying to determine between the two. I wouldn't stick. Here's my thing. I wouldn't stick a kid in either of them. Anything.
Right.
I'd stick a friend in my car or a friend's car.
Absolutely.
If it's not one of those two, no, sorry.
Right.
I mean, that's the same as me going, dude, just hitchhike, dude. Fucking, I'm not going to take
Right.
you.
Yeah.
What's Vinny here saying? What's up, Vinny? You guys check out
it's
Vinny
a-
Coos. Vinny Coos does Rideshare Garage. You guys all know that, but he's changed it to, and I love the new show. I've actually sat in on it a couple times, I think, this year. And I told him the other day that my Wednesdays used to be pretty jammed up. I really want to start sitting. It's called Off the Clock, and it's actually different discussions. If a little, I've seen a little bit of gig talk come into it, but really he's got a couple different ideas for the night, and it's sometimes those things don't roll right. But Vinny knows how to run a show. I've always appreciated Vinny's
Nice.
content. And, check it out, guys.
Absolutely.
Waymo was intended for 18 plus. Waymo doesn't work. Like, it shouldn't be intended for 18 plus.
Yeah, it's for 95 plus.
Waymo should be for pedophiles.
Well,
No, wait, I didn't just say that because they probably are using Waymos. God.
Yeah.
What?
So,
It's a good commercial,
back
though.
to the chat. Back to the chat. Uber drivers are still legal on the platform. So what's the difference?
Yeah. No, dude, and I played
Yeah.
a video on that just the other day, man. I mean, like, it was mainstream media now where I'm able to go, look at this. People are like, wait a minute, what? It was about taxes coming back and all these people going, wait, I never worked for Uber. So why would it be 18 plus? Okay, so then he's laughing. Torb shit
You
himself.
said that on your. Vinny said, "Glad you said that on your show." Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Vinny, dude, honestly, Vinny knows this too. A lot of stuff gets said on his show too. Like the last time I was on it, in fact, and before we move on here, I'll say this. The last time I was on it a couple weeks ago, I was like, I don't want to get political because I'm so used to doing that. And Vinny like leaned forward and was like, no, get political, man. So like, I always have a good time over there. I was gonna ask. We'll just make this one quick because this is easy. What are your feelings on the dude? We've seen the women drivers for women passengers launch a million times, and then you don't hear about it. I don't know if it goes away, and if it's launched and it goes away and it's launched. But now, like everybody again, and it happened a few weeks back. More markets launching. I was like, I thought they already all did that wanted. I'm on this one. I'm confused. I don't bother following it. But the last 2 days have been tons of news. All cities have it now. Have we learned anything? I'm being honest. I don't know this. I have not taken the time to look into this. Do we know anything about if this program works at all? If they're having any success? Is sexual assault down? Has anything been looked at before you're rolling it out nationwide as this beautiful thing that everybody's going to love?
This is just window dressing, Steve. I've polled a whole lot of, so the public sentiment from the people that I've polled, that there's women that say that they would genuinely like to do it. But then there's also women that say, I'd feel safer with some overprotective dad figure driving me around than the woman. So having the options out there, fine. That's just window dressing. They're not trying to do anything than appease a small percentage of people. And the women I talk to that have tried to use it, it's not successful because there's not enough women drivers.
Yeah. And then when it comes back, as we did, at least in the one case, remember that one? It was some weeks back where I had the picture and I put it up and Uber. I mean, to me, it's like you shouldn't even do it at all. But it was like change. It was like, we can't find you a ride for 5 cents more. We do have a guy around the corner. Like, to me, that's even creepier.
Yeah.
charged, B, that
Right.
you got a guy around the corner. She's obviously wanting a girl, and you're like, you got a creepy guy around the corner. You want him?
Well,
Like,
so that tells me if Uber and Lyft's research says that, there's women that, want to feel safer, then I guess they need to maybe make a 2A option, for the people that want to feel
listen,
safer.
the
I
only
mean,
thing
come
I
on.
had to say about the
If you want
money,
Uber to do it,
about that
yeah,
though, was the money, because I could see that 5
right,
cents being $5 if the surge was going and somehow the algorithm caught that, and somebody going $5 more. To me, it shouldn't matter what the price changed to. When you send them that alert, it should be a no charge, and it should just in
right,
that way. I wouldn't have a problem with the offer. We're having a problem finding a woman driver close to you. It might be a few minutes. Would you rather take a man?
right.
We do have one in the area. I
See,
mean, a real company
that
that cared would have certain men go through training for women who feel very much like they don't want a man, so that he is kind of chill and not, hey, what's up? Mind if I smoke a cigar?
right.
I don't have pants on up here, like,
Don't look up here. Oh my gosh.
okay, so we got one
Going
more
the wrong
topic,
direction.
and it's an argument, but I'm just kidding. But I told
I'm
Gary I
gonna
was going
win.
to do. I told Gary I was going to do this, and so I was going to give him a plug, but we ran a little over. So
Gary'sApps.com is the destination for apps that helps gig workers be safer, more focused, and more proficient. The Maximo app, which is spelled Maxymo, it helps Uber, Lyft, and Grubhub drivers by automatically switching between apps and turning them on or off as needed. For example, if a driver accepts an Uber trip, Maximo will turn off all the other apps that are online, and when the trip is completed, it'll turn the apps back on for the driver. It will also auto-accept or decline offers based on the driver's personal preferences that they set directly in Maximo. Then they have the Driver's Utility Helper app, also known as DUH, which is similar to Maximo, but is only for DoorDash drivers. It as well can help by automatically accepting or declining offers, in addition to showing drivers on-screen information such as the per-mile rate and how long until the delivery is due, which will allow the driver to make a decision quicker when the request comes in. The last app is Flex Alert for Amazon Flex drivers. It takes the hassle out of tapping the screen for hours on end, which can be exhausting, by automatically tapping the refresh button for the driver and then alerting them when a new block appears. This way they can focus on a more important task, driving. Find out more at Gary's Apps, Garys apps.com for more information, and download the apps you need today.
you guys, that was the one and only Bill Waldrop. His name is he was known in the radio industry for 40 years as AKA Chopper Bill. I did a show with him for 2 years out of Houston. And him and Tom Kelly. It was the three of us. And those guys, like, that guy has the best radio voice ever. And he's Chopper Bill because in the 70s, he was like one of those guys that would do the traffic from a helicopter. Like the Anchorman stuff from the movie. You're like, I'm up here and yeah, there's traffic. That was him for Houston.
Announcing the turkey drop on WKRP.
But you guys, real quick, the Gary's app thing, Maximo is on the App Store now on Apple, but it doesn't have the accept or decline feature. Because I've been talking with Gary. I'm going to be doing, Gary's my homie. He's my boy. I ain't charging him nothing. I'm going to be doing some promotions for him. And hopefully, like, even if it's just that long, we're going to plug him in, because there's another company that has come in from another country that's kind of doing the same thing that Gary's been doing here for over 10 years. And they're only Android. He's only Android. Although a few, like the Maximo is, he got everything except for auto accept and auto decline down over on that. But if you are an Android user, check it out, Gary'sApps.com. And then I want to see if maybe, maybe the trade-off would be Gary'd give everybody a free month. I mean, he's a one-man show, so he's not going to be able to do 3 and all this kind of crazy stuff. But if you wanted to play with it, maybe, he'd let you for a couple weeks even. I don't know. Maybe I could talk to him about that, because there are thousands of settings. You can say, I don't want to go here. And you could be so specific. You can do everything you want. I need to make this much. I need this much per mile. And it's not just simple stuff. I don't want to go here. Don't show me anything with dogs. And what that means is if you're Android and it does auto decline for Maximo, DUH, or even Flex Alerts, just the tap. But it goes, it's gonna make your decisions for you. It does drop a thing down, and it says that there's an offer in, and it says a red circle or a green check. If you don't touch it, whatever your auto accept decline things are set to, we'll just do it for you. And if you do decide, because maybe you're like, oh, I just don't want to see it, I'm in that mood. Like, you can override your settings just by touching the drop down. Otherwise, it just takes care of everything. And when you get, like, so Maximo does Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Lyft, right? So if you're using all of those and you're multi-apping and you take one, it will pause you on the other 3. It's going to pause you so that you're not missing orders there and having to get in an accident in an intersection. It automates your work. It's a great tool. Meridian Heights says that, he says that he would feel safer in a Waymo. Wow, dude, really? Well, then what? Then Torp driving? Me driving? Sean driving? Like, be specific, man. Because Waymos aren't safe, and they're not cheap, and like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't tell you how to feel. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't want any part of them. I see them here and I'm yelling at them. People have probably heard
I think he was making a joke, and I'm not going to add any conjecture to what I thought he meant.
Okay.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, is it back to what I said?
No, but back to one of our topics that we were talking about just before this.
Oh, hey, Lynn. Hey, how you guys doing? Or how you doing? Okay, so here we go, guys. VTOL. That's why it said on Sean's thing, it said meet George Jetson. And by the way, before we even jump into this, I'll tell you something I learned the hard way, Sean. Have you ever seen those 1950s habits videos that are like black and white? They're kind of funny to watch. It's like how to be a proper boy, and they're like, everybody has the military cut, and how to date a girl. And Gary actually, Middleton and I used to do Sunday Fun Day for like hours and just do weird random stuff. And I played a couple of those clips, and along with a ton of others. Every time I played one of those, I was getting serious trouble on YouTube. So what I always do is like any black and white clip or something like that might be too mainstream. Just upload the clip first as unlisted and see if it gets flagged.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If it gets, or make it private. Give it 24 hours. If it doesn't get flagged, it probably will be okay. So
that's a good idea. So you don't have problems like me and Belarus this on my last stream.
It's Sean. So Sean thinks that by Saturday, Waymos will be landing on rooftops of every building in every city in America.
No, I never said rooftops. I never said rooftops.
But I honestly, guys, I did. I was in Sean's chat on his.
He was blowing it up. It was great.
I mean, I wasn't being mean. I was just trying to no. But a lot of things he said were kind of right. So I did. I mean, I did a surface level deep dive, and you guys know when I do a deep dive, I really have been putting lots of time into it. But I did as much as I could before this, and some of the things, the timeline, yeah. But some of the things are in place, but they're such weak things. And when you said 2028, right? Because I don't even know if you saw this comment of mine before, because then you came along and said it. I know Sue saw it. I said it right away. I was like, are you saying 2028 because of the LA Olympics? And you didn't even mention it for 10 more minutes.
No, I didn't see your comment, but that was exactly, as you know, that's where I went with it.
And Could they create a helipad, or what is the other one that they call it?
A vertipad.
A vertipad, because a helipad is where the
A
helicopters land that
vertiport.
need to
I'm
be
sorry, vertiport.
vertiport. A vertiport is for the VTOLs only, and the heliports need to be converted for where helicopters land on hospitals and stuff to be able to, because they need to be charging stations as well.
Right.
And the infrastructure that goes into these on maybe not as much on a hospital, for instance. They do have to do the upgrade, but like when Sean was saying building to building, see, I go back to 2017 when the promise was 2019. It's going to be in LA for sure, and every building will have a landing port. And I was like, you're going to re-architect every building in LA. You're going to redo the streets because, yes, the streets need to be redone too. Everything needs to be redone. Basically, the whole city needs to be overhauled to allow this stupid thing, you know? And it's definitely, I mean, the reason that they keep trying it in Dubai, I don't know if they're going to be doing that now with missiles going off all the time. But the other thing is they have all these sandstorms and stuff. And I've seen this project shut down too many times because of wind. You guys, I looked up something about electromagnetic fields. Like, I mean, like they have a concern that if you hit one of those, if you had 20 of these things, they could all short immediately. And you're all dead immediately. So the rule has been in place for a while that 500 feet is and that it reminds me of like the very earliest days of drones. You can keep it in your yard. And they didn't even have a camera. They had these weird batteries you had to slide in. They lasted like 2 minutes, then it would die and crash. And so exactly hence that. I think it's not there. The last time they tried this, I mean, the 2 times prior, nothing came out of it. The last time they actually changed Uber. They had Uber VTOL in 2022. And they said that it was launching in New York City. I was like, I can't wait to see this. You guys have been saying it forever. It turned out to be one helicopter, one. And they ended up calling it Ubercopter. They just gave up and thought, nobody paid attention to that. We don't care. That was just 5 years of lies. Lies, straight up lies. There are companies sanctioned to do this. However, I want to hear Sean's thing on it. And then because I have too many notes, so I'll just use the notes based on what he wants to tell us, because whatever his and we still don't have a bet. I thought of our bet, by the way, if you want to maybe hear this out. The bet is that whoever loses, if we agree on this, because you're going to give a new timeline, you're going to tell us that it's going to be Saturday or next month or something, whatever. But if we agree on that, we go to a hockey game, because we've been wanting to do that. The other person has to wear the other team's jersey, yes, but he also has to wear a kilt on a non-St. Patty Day.
All right.
The other person can dress normal. That's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just, I mean, like, and hopefully, like, it would be you and my Probert Red Wings jersey, which will just be so classic, because I'm going to bring that when it has real blood stains and a Red Wings kilt.
Okay. Look, I got to mute and puke for a second. Anyway.
No, but some of the things you said were correct. And that's why I wanted you to go through what you've been seeing. Because when I dug in, I'm like, I'm going to tear him a new one. But when I start diving down it, there are some new things that I've seen added. But again, nothing's real yet. Nothing is real. But there's more talk. There is on both sides of the coin.
And there's lots of money and there's lots of government interest in helping support to make this happen, which is different than it's been in the past, is really where I'm making these arguments. And it's kind of funny, Steve, because to prepare for this little show that we were going to have, show we were going to have, I actually did research in the reverse as to tell me why it won't work. And I used some AI prompts and things, and every single damn one of them said, well, it's not that it's not going to happen, but, blah, blah. And every single one of them kept coming back to me and saying 2028 too. So even the negative, if I try and put the negative spin on it with AI, where those
things
are trained to tell you.
Like ChatGPT is
I used ChatGPT, I used Gemini, and I used, what was that? There's some Chinese one with a whale that Doug uh, put me on to. I can never remember the name of it, but I used 3 different ones, and all 3 of them, they kept coming back to the 2028. Now I think a lot of that too is because that's what's now being kind of pushed so heavily. They're saying 2020. I've saw stuff even saying this year that they're going to start, doing limiting. I'm like, oh, bull crap. So that's always the problems. You have to fact check all this stuff, and it's really extensive.
Oh
But
yeah.
scratching the surface, Steve, is really interesting, and I think it will be very limited vanity flights. We'll call them, where the
If
movie
even,
stars are going to go
if
to their
even,
little
man,
vertiport.
the things I
Yeah.
saw that at best that I could side with you on is we're talking 1-person vehicle, dude, and they can't go over 500 feet yet. I saw things about 1,500 feet, but that is not anything
But
FAA has
no, and that's just
endorsed
during the
at all.
testing phase.
Right, but it's
Because
been
none of
500,
these,
but it's been 500 feet since Archer started one in 2020 or 2021.
right,
So I
and
mean,
it's still not
it's
certified.
been that way for 5 years.
Right. It and Joby are the 2, that have the initial 8 region approval. And Joby, if I remember correct, Steve, that they're going to be operating because New York Port Authority is going to be doing 1 region. They have 26 states and they're broke down into 8 different regions.
Yep.
And the heaviest testing is going to be in New York,
So
New
far, you
Jersey
guys,
area.
so far we have the same. Sean and I are
Same,
sharing the same data, pretty much. Like I'm
right.
looking at mine right now.
Right,
So.
exactly. I mean, that's kind of the interesting conclusion that we're going to come to here is that, other than the time difference, I think
Because you said
we're going to
26
respectfully.
you said 26 states.
Is it 28?
Right? Okay, I have 26, but whatever, that's close enough.
Yeah, 26, 28. I don't know. I thought it was 26, but anyway, and they're broke down into 8 different regions, and then there's governing agencies that are overseeing all this. And the
Right.
New York Port Authority, that's the one where everybody's like, I think that's going to be the biggest problem and challenge as it is because there's too much air traffic and too many damn people and not enough places to put a vertiport to begin with.
Well, so and they're so close to and New Jersey's, as we know, I think it's the biggest in the country is New Jersey's. And
Right.
their Port Authority and New York's both are they're the 2. Like when Sean was saying, I was thinking Waymo's hopping rooftop to rooftop in New York City, huh? Like keep pimping, dude. Like how much is that ride? $18 billion. Let's go. It's surging. Like no,
Right.
no. And so like I knew this wasn't anywhere close. So what it is the Port Authority they can't go anywhere near the city. They have
Right.
to stay away from the city.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, basically it's going to go Port Authority to Port Authority after they just do some basic testing of up and down. So what'll
Right.
happen out in LA during the Olympics? Port Authority to a landing pad that doesn't put anybody in danger. And then from that landing pad, it'll be 5 miles by bus to the fucking event.
It's
Watch,
only
I'm
5
telling you.
occupants, so they'll Uber XL into the venue. You're gonna make a
Yeah,
show of it, man.
but dude, that is one thing we are going to disagree on majorly. And if we have to take this into round 2 next week, we will. We'll ding this because I think we should both even dive deeper into this. But I was having trouble finding anything saying passengers will be anything that's actually even relating to potentially passengers. I just saw a lot of single pilot rules that could change and definitely a lot of wording that was hardcore about no passengers. No.
Right.
No.
And that's during all of this testing phase. So in the
Right,
testing phase,
but even the FAA said, they're not even going to look at passengers till 2027. Like they won't even acknowledge it.
right.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like,
that
and
gives
so
a year.
that
That
is
puts a
one
year
thing I
for my
found.
timeline.
Well, again, I mean, autonomous vehicles were in Phoenix for 9 years before they were even in California. They were just in Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's why I see and I read about, I don't even know if you mentioned this, but I read about they might be taking the top of some parking garages to try and put some of these ports on too.
No.
So there, I gave
that
you a
one I
point.
hadn't-
There's a point for Sean. Like, because
There's
I
one
thought,
for
okay,
me.
I could see that too. You know, that
Yeah.
could be a place where they could infrastructure that fairly cheap. But so here's what I did. Here's one thing that did come up to me though is, so even though this is the Federal Aviation Administration in 2024, it created new rules, or it was 2024, guys, for power lift aircraft, the eVTOLs, and that stands for. It used to just be VTOL, but now it's electric vertical and takeoff and landing vehicles, the ones that just propeller up and then propeller out, and they're electric.
Right.
The rules defined how pilots are trained. Not one pilot has been trained. How vehicles operate in airspace. They haven't had one operate in airspace. They've had it underneath the 500.
There are
that's the
pilots that
flight
are
deck.
trained, they're just not certified.
They're not.
So, because the aircraft isn't
but
certified.
the FAA,
So,
I guess I'm pointing out the FAA was mentioning they don't have training yet, what they're going to consider trained.
correct.
You're trained basically right now. If you guys have seen the single passenger ones,
Orville didn't have training and certification when they started flying.
right? I'm saying, you know, like for what people have been doing this, by the way, guys. Like there are the Archer ones
Yeah.
and stuff. They more look like the what was it reminding me of when I was watching some of those videos, and I've seen them before too. But like the third, which is actually the sixth Star Wars, like the original third, you know, Jedi.
Yeah.
And they're in the
Yeah.
woods, remember? And they're on those whatever.
Oh yeah, those little
It kind of
whatever
reminded
those
me of
things are
that, but
called.
with like a safety barrier over you. But
That's
it kind of looks
right.
just like that. Even has a couple little, they're not guns, but a couple little bars coming
Yeah.
out the front.
Yeah, the skids look like the guns coming off of them.
No, but I mean, like these people, it just looked so like, I'm like, really? Like people were taking off going, I'm like, I guess it's your life, man.
awkward.
That's why I view it like a home drone. Like you're just playing it, and if you die, you die. Big deal. Like,
Right.
But here's what I saw for this is what the little summary that I came up with for 2026 to 2028, the massive real world testing phase. So these are points to Sean again. Instead of and I'm not saying I agree with them, but instead of waiting for perfect certification, regulators are doing something that is quote unquote smarter. So the US launched a huge eVTOL pilot program across 26 states. Flights will begin around 2027. They will include air taxis, cargo flights, and emergency services.
When?
2027. But again, dude, I think that we're talking about literally testing up in a field. I don't think like there's nothing I can see about passengers. And that's why I brought up Waymo, because Waymo was in Arizona for years, right? They couldn't even get into California. In California, we damn well doesn't care about their people. They'll put for money, they'll put Waymos on every street in California and run you down. They don't care about you.
Well, and going back to your comparison of drones, is that was one of the things we saw in search and rescue. It was a lot easier for us to get waivers and operating authority in areas like within airspaces. So, you know, because we were in Douglas County, so if we got anywhere near Centennial Airport, we just had to call the tower and, you know, blah, blah. And we were able to get a waiver and authorization just by simple. So they were willing to do that from a first responder organization. And then we had night waivers when they were still trying to figure out, you know, what do we do to be able to fly these things at night, which is going to be eVTOL thing that we've not even scratched the surface on, you know, about flying at night. And I mean, that's a whole nother 10 episodes. Oh my gosh, to go right there. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but I think it's going to help expedite it by doing the emergency services component.
But expedite what? Like we're gonna
getting people in the air.
We're gonna spend
Tom Cruise being able to hop from his Scientology rooftop in LA.
It's a Scientology project. I'm all for it. Send them up 10,000 feet, dude. I'm all
to go
for
over
it,
to
man.
Utah, to fly over to Utah.
And that's another thing when you were mentioning search and rescue. I'm thinking man, the drones, the best of drones, they're like losing in every fire they send them into. That they thought they had fire ready, and they're like, these are going to help, and they're going to give us visuals, and they go down every time they go in. It's just like they just, you can't deal with a fire. Like it's just,
Right.
it's just.
Well, we're not going to be flying people over volcanoes yet.
No,
Come
I'm
on,
just
give it
saying,
a
like,
couple more
if
years.
the drone doesn't work, we shouldn't be sending people up in it.
Okay, well,
unless actually, the pedophiles.
I was saying, here we go again. I knew exactly. Oh boy, it'll be a new sentencing structure, huh?
But so there was one other thing I wanted to just mention that. Okay, so this is the where I'll leave like the standing. We will continue. I have more on this, and I'll find some more too, because I'm you guys are hearing me. I'm agreeing with some of the stuff Sean said. That I just don't. I know what they're doing, but again, I think they're causing a lot of problems. I think they're really not. Again, I don't know where our government is at anymore. They don't care about us. That's clear.
Yeah. So are the
At all.
robo taxis. We're still running around in those.
So, but it does say to carry passengers. One thing that the FAA, even though the standards aren't out on, this is what they said they're going to require. Is it's going to be basically, is this safe enough? And I thought that sounds really weak. Then I got into it. It's not. So as of now, no eVTOL is certified. Period. Certification is a multi-year process. There are none in certification yet. Well, isn't it 2026? So 2 years to certify?
That is not true, because the new program that came up, that puts Archer and Joby, that's part of their process. Their certification process is with them getting into this test for this rollout.
But once you're fully certified,
go ahead.
Right, but they haven't even laid out what the certification is yet, so nobody is certified. Nobody, and it says once you start it, it's a multi-year process.
Currently, that's the way they've defined it, but
this is for passengers. Again, we are on the same page about what they're going to allow like single people to do. You want to kill yourself? Go up in that.
Right.
Go ahead. And do you have $10 billion to use it? Because they're not cheap. So, but the certification will take multi-years. This is the FAA. They have to create a brand new aircraft category. They have to create new safety standards. They have to understand battery redundancy and autonomy concerns, as well as they have had NASA do electromagnetic studies that show that these could all come down in an electrical storm.
Right. So they have to create shielding. That'll be part of the certification process of the aircraft. And the other thing that you didn't put in there, to your point, is vertiport construction. You talked about that. There's got to be a whole lot of standards, and to be able to put that, you can't just pop up
when
an
they
airport
first started
the hell you want.
They did have like fields they were landing in. And to what you were saying about taking something and then taking the Uber X or whatever, or the black.
Right.
Yeah, they did have fields that you could go get Uber copter in. And I'm not saying that's a vertiport, but I'm saying I could see them starting to just start designing some in weird spots, almost like they do these data centers that they're doing.
Right.
I mean, hell, why not just build them on the data centers, to be honest?
So would it be unfair if I was to start soliciting Olympic committee members to push this for 2028 for kind of the new version of the World's Fair? Because we're having problems with the Olympics, and actually I had a lot of conversations, because I regularly, with the Olympics committee being down here in Colorado Springs, actually do have a lot of conversations with them. So now I'm going to start pushing them, going, hey, this eVTOL thing, you could really revamp the Olympics with this. And so
I mean, if anything is done with them on the Olympics, it will be purely for show. Nobody will be using these. Right. And I mean, like, maybe it'll even transport a team. God hope they don't kill one. But
Okay, well, then they'll just transfer and start using them in the X Games.
uh-oh, Sue. No, I just
Now,
Sue like I do my due diligence. If he's right, he's right. I'm not on that side. I don't think it's reality. I think it's like the beginning of Waymo, which for 7 years was nothing except for people in Arizona dropping cinder blocks off highways onto them. They weren't in any other cities. They weren't in San Francisco. They weren't in LA yet. They hadn't expanded the map out at all. They were just in Phoenix. That was it. And so I think that's kind of, I'm not saying they're just going to be in Phoenix. I'm saying they're going to be on at and by the way, the New Jersey and New York port authorities, as of now, said during non-working, that means the crane hours, which I think is just before dark. So you can't use them until dark. It's weird, dude. Like the things they are allowing, I feel is more about building the, like you said, the I was gonna say teleport. the hoverport,
or the what the hell are they?
Vertiport. No, yeah.
Yes.
But building the vertiports and kind of in testing, and really, like, I almost count on all of the testing things that are testing are not even going to be anything real at all. They're more about the vertiports. I feel like that's where I'm at a little bit with it. You know, I feel like they're, and to me, honestly, I think that is 100 times better than what the like autonomous vehicle industry is doing. Because I mean, we talk about the cars, like when we did the video about the truck. Come on, Tom, we covered that on Driver Nation out of Houston a few years ago, and Tom like broke down this story about like, dude, they really scammed what they were doing, and so those are not real at all. And you have to build out the entire highway. You have to have like, and dude, I'll tell you what, if autonomous trucks do make it in the next 3 or 4 years, Sean and I, and you guys should too. Sean and I are starting a wrecker service. No, I'm serious.
Yes.
Because if you guys know what wreckers are, the big tow trucks for
the
trucks.
Heavy. We'll start a
because
heavy service,
dude, we'll have gas power, gets 4 miles to the gallon. It destroys the environment, but we will save your EV trucks.
Yeah,
we'll bring them back for $1 million a piece.
So back to eVTOL real quick. When do you think they're going to start commercial, even limited? As I'm making my proclamation.
Well, wait, what was yours?
By the Summer Olympics 2028.
That they're taking passengers.
I don't know. We'll have to see when the games kick off. I'll give you
like,
within a 1 month.
We obviously know they're going to be beyond expensive, but are you saying that like even if it's Uber or if it's directly through Archer or one of these other companies, are you saying like somebody with enough money, I can get on there? I have enough money, let's say. I can get on there and I can book a flight.
I don't. The app's not going to be available, so it's going to be because Archer, who's what? But anyway, no, it'll be through one of the vanity for the charter airplane services, like Uber has paired up with, I can't remember which company it is, but where they do limited charter flights, and that Uber Air that you were talking about, and they also have investment in, I think it's Archer. So I think it's going to be facilitated through that. You'll contact one of these charter air companies, and then that's where your flights will occur. I think that's where it'll start, and then Uber and Lyft, and Lyft won't be around. Uber will do it.
All right, guys, we're in overtime, so we're gonna end it. But I think that this has been a kind of thing we've done a couple times. I think we should start off the next episode just with some like final remarks, and then we'll have something for you guys to weigh in on too. I'll actually put a poll up. I don't know if Sean's done that yet. He can do it in his too. And we'll say, do you think, but Sean needs to think, because the bet is going to be placed on when some average person, now clearly not average because they're going to have to be multi-millionaire type people, but when even that type of person can get on something and make it happen so that they can go take a ride in one as a passenger. Not just team members and, oh yeah, we're playing. And
okay, so you're talking like Uber Black Or I open up the app. So it's going to be
Right.
defined
And it
as
has Uber fly you to the moon.
right.
Meet George Jetson.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, that. When it says Uber
All right.
Black, $11, Waymo, $27, and it says VTOL, $27 million. That. When is that going to be real?
When's that going to be real? All right, that one I'll get back to you on. That one's going to require some more research, but I think they are going to be doing.
I mean, it doesn't have to
limited-
be, again, it doesn't have to be to everybody. Waymo started off with only in the Waymo app. Then they partnered with Uber, unpartnered, partnered with Uber, unpartnered, partnered with Uber, unpartnered. But I'm just saying, like, it first began with you had to be in the Waymo One app, and that wasn't even available to anybody except for employees and their families. That was it in the
Right.
Phoenix area. So that's what I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about,
Right.
hey, we're going to put our company employees at risk. I don't care about them. They're going to die anyway. So,
It says when she's
yeah, I don't know. See, like, I'm not, I don't think that, but
no.
I just want to know when he thinks at least they think that, like, we need, that's the date we need. That's the
When
kilt
do you think?
Jersey date.
You seem to you were like originally like 2050. I think that was your original
Well,
statement.
I mean, you kept
I
coming
think you
down,
pulled
so
back
I'm like
from that a
sitting here
little
going,
bit.
let's bargain, man. I don't think that by the 20, I can say this, I don't think that by the 2028 Olympics anybody will have access to get on these. Or 2028,
think-
sorry.
Yeah, I think there will, but we're
Okay.
talking app. You want to put the app? You want to put
There's the bet.
When's the app going to be out there?
Yeah, no, so we'll just keep it easy at that.
Yeah.
If it can take passengers, because maybe it's not even through an app. Maybe it's AI assist. For all we know, the apps all die in a few years to this AI assist.
Right.
I mean, see, there are people talking about it now, by the way, which is something we can discuss a little bit next week. But there are people
Yeah.
talking about this is like the 2000.com crash. Remember when
Yeah, but
all
what's
the
gonna replace
e-commerce,
it though?
but AI assist, they'll all be in it. It's not like they all go out of business. It's kind of everything I've read, even for like phones and stuff, is just said, why do you need 7,000 things on your phone when one AI assist can run them all?
Well, and that's not far off of what's already happening with ETH, that they have what's called the base app, and it's where everything is in this one app. So you're not.
So
It's
so
already
the
working
company
in
I
some
keep
areas.
talking about, Perplexity and their browser Comet, the first thing they're doing out of the box is that web browser. It's going to be teaching you to use a web browser on a phone or whatever your device or computer, whatever. Sync them all up, do whatever you want. But their pitch out of the box is that you won't have an app on your phone.
Then I'll just have a phone.
I mean, to me, dude, if you can clean it up to that level, the other thing is that this is why DoorDash and some of those companies are investing in it, because they know that the way that's set up isn't the old app playing game. It is, if I, the customer, am looking for Philly cheesesteaks from this one place here in town, I don't have to look at Uber and DoorDash and all this anymore. I just I want a Philly cheesesteak from blah, blah, blah. And it says, let me figure that out. And it's going to go find the cheapest, best way for me to get that. I mean, that's what, I mean, dude, there's more venture capital in Perplexity's Comet than any of the startups, Uber, DoorDash, any of them when they were VCs. And much of the VC money is them. It's Uber, it's DoorDash.
Right.
Look, guys, I mean, they make a lot of dumb decisions where we're like, what the hell? But that one makes sense to me. I get what they're doing. They don't want to be left out, because if you're left out, dude, you're screwed. When you're going to like have some outdated app that's all glitchy, and AI assist is getting people things at half price.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on the other end for the gig workers.
Yeah, it's the same thing as that one AI too, the one that had the Clawbot. Man, that thing scares the hell out of me every time I see videos on this. I'm very worried for humanity a little bit, because I've seen people do videos where they're like, I'm just gonna stop working and give up, and I'm gonna get this Apple, the whatever it is, the computer that's that big.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. They're like $2
Yeah.
grand. But if you buy one of those and you dedicate it to just Clawbot, there is a way to turn over your life and your decisions to it. So whatever things it signs, makes decisions, you are legally responsible for everything it does.
Nope.
And some people are
Not
just giving
me.
up and going, I'm gonna let it do my work. I'm gonna let it do this. I'm gonna teach it over the next few months. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're gonna have a murder charge in Florida where they have the death penalty. What's up, Vinny? I see you. Vinny's in Florida or in Miami.
Mac Mini.
But yeah, we'll continue this a little bit, and then a bunch of other stuff
Yeah.
too. I don't know. We're loving these nights, guys. That you guys are awesome coming in, and it looks like we've had few from Twitter. Maybe there were, people bouncing around between the two lives. We
Yeah, I
got
saw
the chat
Lynn
going.
hop in.
I feel like the vibe's growing here, guys. So let's keep it going because Sean and I are digging it too. And as you can
we're having
see,
fun.
this is two adults having a conversation. This is how it's done. You don't rant. You don't tell people, no, you're wrong, and blah, 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 blah.
I hate you.
Yeah, I'm going to fight you. And you're an idiot. No, this is how adults have a conversation. And this is how we get to I learn things. Sean is a smart guy. He tells me things. I'm like, oh. And so I look it up and I put it into my notes.
I do the same.
Exactly, dude.
Yep.
So, love, 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 love in this community. We are not a hate community. So, you guys, thank you for joining us. What's Vinny saying? Oh, Vinny's, they're all talking in the chat. Good for you guys. Appreciated you being here. And oh my God, my screen just shrunk so much. It's StreamYard nightmare. I'm going to take a picture so I can show Sean after. Anyway, see you guys next time. It is Thursday. So be good, be safe. Check out Sean's channel. The last time
we'll
I
see
made
y'all
such a
Tuesday
mockery of
on
this.
mine.
So here we go. At CO, standing for Colorado, Ride Guy. CO Ride Guy. And it's also in the description. And check it out. Give him some follows. I think he's over 50 maybe subs. And I mean, we all know
55
that
now, I think, or
whatever
54,
it matters,
something like
but
that.
100 is something. 100's a milestone. It just like you feel like you're on a little bit of a roll. So let's get them there.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank
and
y'all.
we'll see you back here next week. Peace.